Hello again and welcome back. Welcome to a new class, to class number 190, which means we have only 6 classes left. Only 6 classes left. That's 1 week and 1 day. I can't believe it, but we're approaching the end. We're getting closer and closer. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. In fact, the light is very big. We're going to leave the tunnel in only 6 days. So the light at the end of the tunnel is enormous. It's blinding me because we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer. We're getting closer and closer. Little by little, step by step, slowly but surely, we have successfully passed through 189 classes. I'm impressed, and I hope you're impressed with your perseverance, your persistence, your willpower, yes, and your constance to be with us. Okay, requiere constancia. Learning English well requires a lot of persistence, perseverance, etc. Everything that I've been telling you from the beginning, a lot of work. Okay, let's go to camera number 1 and review a bit the things we saw yesterday, please. All right, to be better off. Yeah, to be better off. You know, I think you would be better off, excuse me, what do you want to study next year? You want to take a master's. Really? A master's? Wow. A master's in what? A master's in Bulgarian. You want to learn Bulgarian. You're going to take a master. I think you'd be better off studying English than Bulgarian, yeah. And what else are you going to study? You're also going to study basket weaving. Cómo tejer mimbre, o sea, cestas de mimbre. Oh, that's interesting, but I think you'd be better off studying something a bit more practical for your job. Don't you think so? What else are you going to study next year? Tarot card reading. Cartas de tarot. You're going to study tarot card reading. Well, I imagine that's very interesting. But don't you think you'd be better off studying something a bit more practical for your job? I mean, you're young. You just finished the university in economics. And so I think it'd be a good idea for you to study things that are connected to economics or to finance or to organization or to management or to human behavior in the organization. I think you'd be much better off. Estarías mejor. Cuando dices estarías mejor haciendo esto, no decimos solo better, decimos better off. Okay. Esta taza es mejor que la otra. This cup is better than, no digo better off, than the other. Ahora, estoy mejor bebiendo de esta que de la otra. I'm better off drinking gerundio from this cup than from the other one. And honestly, a decir verdad, honestly, I think that you'd be better off not studying tarot card reading and studying maybe human behavior in the organization. I think you'd be better off not studying Bulgarian, but rather improving your mastery of my language, of English. I think you'd be better off doing the things I'm telling you. Yeah, I think you'd be better off. All right. Now, you also tell me you're planning to go to the States, yeah? You're planning to, you want to live in the States, right? For how long? For 1 week? I think you'd be better off staying for 1 year, not 1 week. If you go for 1 week, for me, it's not that it's a waste of time, it's just not going to make a change in your English. Spending 1 week there is for vacation, not for your English. I think you'd be better off staying a much longer time. Yeah, that's right, 1 year. Now, where do you want to go? Where are you planning to go? You're planning to go to San Antonio, Texas. No, I don't think I think you'd be better off going to Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana. I think you'd be better off in that part of the States. Why? Well, if you go to San Antonio, Texas, 55% of the local population is Mexican American, and many of them speak Spanish. You hear Spanish everywhere. You hear Mexican Spanish. You don't hear Castilian Spanish. You hear people say, voy a manejar el carro al estacionamiento, okay? All right, but you don't hear English. There are certain areas of San Antonio where you don't hear very much English, all right? Voy a ir al store a comprar un poco de bread. You hear both languages mixed at the same time, all right? So I don't recommend that you go to San Antonio. I recommend that you go to Fargo, como la película, Fargo, North Dakota, or to Bismarck, North Dakota, or to Pierre, South Dakota, or to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think you'd be much better off there, even though it's cold in the winter. It's freezing in the winter. It's really, really cold up there. But in spite of the cold weather in the winter, I think you'd be much better off. You would be much better off staying in the north of the United States than in the south, because in the south, especially in Texas and in California, New Mexico, Arizona, Miami, and even New York City, you hear a lot of Spanish. You hear a lot of Spanish, all right? Voy a parquear el carro, and you hear funny Spanish, but that's Colombian Spanish, by the way. And but you'd be better off in an purely English-speaking environment. Okay, another thing we looked at yesterday, very, very important, is most of the time. La mayoría de las veces, aquí decís, la mayoría de las veces, tomo un café después de la tercera clase. Okay. In English, we don't say la mayoría de las veces. We say la mayoría del tiempo. Most of the time. Siempre en plural, en singular. Nunca decimos most of the times. All right, most of the time, yeah, when I come to work here in the studio, most of the time I go straight to the makeup room upstairs to see Lydia. Lydia's always waiting. Well, most of the time Lydia's there. She's not there all the time. All the time, some of the time, most of the time, none of the time. All right? All the time. Todo el tiempo. All the time. Some of the time. Una parte del tiempo. Most of the time. La mayoría del tiempo. Most of the time, Lydia's waiting for me when I come here for the makeup. But sometimes she's not. Most of the time, she's in a good mood. Yeah, Lydia. Most of the time, she's in a good mood, but not always. And most of the time, she does a good job. Not always. All right. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Hello everyone, I'm Natasha, your teacher for today and for this block, and I'm here with Marina, a student that reviewed everything we did in the previous class in order to do very well in this class today. How are you, Marina?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm great. Is that true? Did you review everything we had to do?
Oh yes, of course, as usual.
Do you remember what we saw in the previous class?
You will tell me, because I have reviewed many things.
Okay. Okay, so she's reviewed many things, but including obviously what we did in the previous class. Okay, we're going to review two different things. We're going to review to be better off, okay, estar mejor, and most of the time, okay? All right, let's start with the first one, to be better off, okay? There are two ways we use this, okay? When we want to say que vas a estar mejor, okay, in a better situation, okay, and to give recommendations, okay? We're going to practice both, okay? Let's practice the first one, to be better, to be in a better situation, estar mejor, okay? You ready?
Yes.
Estoy mucho mejor ahora que no tengo novio.
I'm much better off now that I don't have a boyfriend.
Very good. One more time.
I'm much better off now that I don't have a boyfriend.
Very good. I'm much better off now that I don't have a boyfriend. I'm much better off now that I don't have a boyfriend. Okay, the next one is for you at home, okay? Estoy mucho mejor ahora que tengo mi propio piso. Estoy mucho mejor ahora que tengo mi propio piso. Very good. I'm much better off now that I have my own flat. I'm much better off now that I have my own flat, okay? The next one is for Marina, okay? Estoy mucho mejor ahora que entiendo el inglés.
I'm much better off now that I understand English.
Very good. I'm much better off now that I understand English, okay? Now we're going to see the other use of better off, which is to give advice, okay? So you have to rephrase what I say and use better off, okay? Marina, you ready?
Yes.
If I were you, I'd look for another job.
You'd be better off if you looking.
Yes, very
Okay,
good.
you'd be better off looking for another job.
Very good, okay? This is very, very important, okay? Better off goes with the gerund, okay? So when you're giving advice, you have to say, you'd be better off looking for another job. You'd be better off looking for another job. Let's get Marina to repeat.
You'd be better off looking for another job.
Very good. The next one is for you at home, okay? If I were you, I'd start again. If I were you, I'd start again. Very good. You'd be better off starting again. You'd be better off starting again. Okay, very good. They're doing very well, aren't they? Okay, the next one. If I were you, I'd donate that money to charity.
You'd be better off donating that money to charity.
Very good. You'd be better off donating that money to charity. You'd be better off donating with ing that money to charity. Okay, now let's go to the next point, which is most of the time, okay? The way we're going to study it here today, later on you'll see a different way of using it, but today we're going to see the way of la mayor parte del tiempo, okay? That's the way we're going to see it today. Later on you'll see another use, which is la mayoría de las veces, but right now we're going to stick to la mayor parte del tiempo, and we'll do this through a translation list, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
La mayor parte del tiempo ella está reunida.
Most of the time she's in a meeting, or
She's in meetings.
She's in meetings.
Very good. One more
Most
time.
of the time she is in meetings.
Very good. Most of the time, she's in meeting, okay? I don't want to ever hear the most of time, for example, okay? It's most of the time, okay? The next one is for you at home. Ella pasa la mayor parte del tiempo hablando con clientes. Very good. She spends most of her time speaking to clients, okay? Pay attention how we can put the possessive adjective here. She spends most of her time speaking to clients, okay? Are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
La mayor parte del tiempo estoy en Madrid.
Most of the time I'm in Madrid.
Very good. Most of the time I'm in Madrid. Let's get Marina to say another one, okay? Paso la mayor parte del tiempo corrigiendo deberes.
I spend most of the time correcting homework.
Or how else could you say this? I spend most of
My
My time?
Yes. I spend most of my time correcting homework.
Very good. I spend most of my time correcting homework. Both are correct, okay? But just pay attention that it's very, 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 very common in English to put the possessive adjective, okay? I spend most of my time correcting homework, okay? The next one is for you at home, okay? Ellos pasan la mayor parte del tiempo cuidando al bebé. Ellos pasan la mayor parte del tiempo cuidando al bebé. Very good. They spend most of their time looking after the baby. They spend most of their time looking after the baby. Marina, can you repeat this, please?
Yes. They spend most of their time looking after the baby.
Very good. The next one, Marina. La mayor parte del tiempo habla por teléfono. Ella.
Most of the time she speaks on the phone.
Very good. Most of the time she speaks on the phone. Can you repeat at home? Very good. Most of the time she speaks on the phone, okay? I just want to remind you, okay? Remember that we never say, in Spanish you say la mayor parte del tiempo. We don't use the at the beginning, okay? We don't say the most of the time. So be very, very careful. Thank you very much, Marina. You did a great job. And at home, remember to study, review, and practice as much as possible. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey, you like my watch? It's new. I have a new watch. This is a silver watch. Plata maciza. It's solid silver. Yeah. It's a nice watch, isn't it? Yeah. You like it? Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? Yeah, don't you like? I'm going to show. Yeah. Maria, like my watch? Yeah. Look at my watch, Maria. Don't you like it? Man, hey, you. Manolo, you like my watch? Look at my watch. I'm showing off. I'm showing off. I'm showing off my watch. Yeah. Showing, sí, estoy enseñando mi reloj, pero estoy presumiendo de mi reloj. To show off is a very common expression. To show off is presumir, enseñando, mostrando. Let's go to camera 1 and I'll explain the different nuances in the idea of presumir, presuntuoso, presumido, jactancioso, etc., these things. Let's go to camera 1. This is interesting. Okay, me, I'm the best English teacher in Spain. Me, nobody teaches as well as I do. I'm the best. I'm the best English teacher, yeah. Why? Because I'm simply more intelligent than the rest. Yeah, that's why. Okay, in this case, I'm not showing off, porque no estoy mostrando nada, estoy simplemente hablando, jactándome. I'm bragging. B-R-A-G-G-I-N-G. And the infinitive is brag, con una G simple. Se añade G doble en el gerundio. To brag. To brag. All right? To brag is jactarse. Yeah. En el sentido pesado. To boast es presumir, pero en sentido tal vez positivo. Se pueden presumir de ser los mejores, y lo son. That's to boast, not to brag or to show off. To brag is when you speak. To show off is when you show. This cup is made of marble. Es una taza de mármol de Carrara. This is Carrara marble from Italy, the same marble that Michelangelo used to sculpt the David or the Pietà. This is the same. Look at it. Is it cool? Yeah, this is mine. It's mine. Eh? I'm showing off my cup. Yeah. And you're green with envy. Yeah, that's to show off. And to brag is when you talk about yourself. Both verbs are negative. Nobody likes a person who brags because that person is a pain in the neck. Un pesado. It's a pain in the neck. He becomes obnoxious. And nobody likes a show-off. Un presumón, decimos en inglés. A show-off, a person who's always showing off the things he has. Yes. I remember one student, a very rich man. Yeah. I gave class to this student and to his wife, all right? He was a very wealthy man, had a lot of money. Beautiful house. And he decided to buy a new house. And it was another house, it was a beautiful house. He invited my wife and I to the house, and he showed us around. He showed us the living room. He showed us the family room. He showed us the kitchen. He showed us the bathrooms. He showed us the bedrooms. He showed us everything. Yeah. And he was especially careful to explain the qualities and the cost of everything. He was showing off. He was showing off his new house. Now, I don't consider him a show-off, nor a braggart, but he was proud of his house and the qualities that he had purchased to build that house. And it was one of the nicest houses maybe in Madrid. This family's very rich. And so he enjoyed showing it off. His wife, nah, she was more modest or humble in this case. But in any case, he was showing it off. And in fact, the qualities were outstanding. The curtains, the kitchen was incredible. Of course, this couple never goes into the kitchen because they have servants and maids who take care of the kitchen. Nevertheless, the kitchen quality was incredible. And he liked to show off. He was a show-off. Mira, there you go. Look at the house I have. Don't you like my house? Yeah. And my car. Look at my car. An Aston Martin, like James Bond. I have a James Bond car. Look, you like my car? I'm showing off my possessions, so people will think that I'm important. And I want people to envy me. All right? If you want people to envy you, all right, que te envidien. If you want people to envy you, then you need to have things that produce envy. All right, like a beautiful house, a beautiful car, a beautiful woman or a very attractive man, standing in your arm, all right? And then other people say, oh, I would like to be like that person. I would like to be in that person's place. That's to be envious, to be envious. And if you show off what you have, if you're a show-off, some people will envy you, but the intelligent people won't. The intelligent people won't envy you. They will simply think that you are a show-off, a pain in the neck, and not very bright. All right? Not very bright. A show-off. Or a braggart. People in Texas, los Tejanos, mis paisanos, my fellow Texans, we are famous for being braggarts. Show-offs, no, but braggarts. We talk a lot. Blah, blah, blah. We say everything in Texas is big. Yeah, the people are big. Las hebillas de los cinturones. The belt buckles are big. The houses are big. Yeah, even the rabbits, las liebres, they're big in Texas. Everything is big. It's true. But Texans brag as a joke. We are never serious about that. Okay? So we laugh at ourselves. But we still continue bragging because we enjoy doing it. Everything in Texas is bigger than in Spain. Yeah, we have the biggest oil wells. Yeah, we have the biggest gas pipelines. Yeah, we have the biggest yachts on the coast. But it's always tongue-in-cheek. Tongue-in-cheek means it's not serious. We're not serious, but we brag. But I don't think Texas people are show-offs. We're not show-offs, but braggarts, yes. All right, are you a show-off? Do you like to show off your possessions? Do you want people to see what you have? Yeah. If you like people to see what you have, then you're a show-off. If you like people to know what you have achieved, then perhaps you're a braggart and you brag about it. Me, I've done so many things. All right. So, to show off. I don't like people who show off. And I try not to show off or to brag. And I think usually I succeed. All right. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right. Look at my wedding ring. Isn't it nice? Solid gold. Yeah. Probably very expensive. Yeah. Look at my watch. Don't you like it? Solid silver. I'll bet it's worth a lot of money. Yeah. Look at my pencils. The best. All kinds of interesting colors. I'm sure these are the best pencils anybody can find. Yeah. Look at my cup over here, this cup. This is made of this is not ceramic, it's marble. De mármol. It's a marble cup. I'm sure it costs a fortune. I'm showing off my possessions. I'm showing off my watch. I'm showing off my ring. I'm showing off my wonderful pencils, and I'm showing off my incredible cup. Soy un ¿cómo se dice? Un fantasma. I'm a show-off. Yeah. Not really. I hope I'm not. But remember, to show off is fanfarronear. Presumir. Okay? I'll see you in a few minutes.
Hi, and welcome to Vaughan Inglés 4.0. My name is Alberto Alonso, and I'm your teacher for today. Well, for the next 8 minutes, I will be your teacher. I'll be your teacher. I will, contracción, I'll be your teacher. I'll be teaching you a lot of things. And I have a student with me, so together we'll be practicing English. We'll, ¿ves? Como rueda. La contracción de we will. Practica las contracciones, porque como siempre los usamos, tienen su propio sonido. She's, he'll, will, todos. Si los, you're, you are, you're happy. Estás contento. You're, no, you are. Siempre contraemos porque es más natural. Okay, well, let me introduce you to my student. I know, you're eager to meet the new student. Well, ladies and gentlemen, his name is Juan. You've seen him before. Please welcome him back. Hello, Juan, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Chillin' like Bob Dylan. Have you heard? There's a new one for you.
No, that's a new one.
Okay, chillin' is tranquilo, right? How are you? Chillin' like Bob Dylan. Tranquilo como el Bob Dylan. There's one for you. Suelta esa, ya verás. What? How did you know that? You have to be in a secret club to know that one. Okay, chillin', o también puedes decir chillin' like a villain. Como el malo, right? Chillin' like a villain. Okay?
That's a nice one.
They use it. Do you know what we say when someone rhymes on accident? ¿Sabes? A veces dices, oh, and we went to the show, but after we had to go. Oh! So when people rhyme on, and it's not on purpose, by accident, you know what we say?
No, I don't.
You're a poet and you didn't even know it. Right? Cuando alguien,
I'll
esto es
have to
muy
write this
nativo,
down.
Esto es muy nativo. Alguien rima en inglés, dile después, suéltale, hey, you're a poet and you didn't even know it. Eres un poeta y ni siquiera lo supieras, right? All right, so we have another one, pero esta no vale en inglés. Así es la vida, we say, that's the way the ball bounces. En España hace rima. Así bota la pelota.
Okay.
Right, that's a good one. So, but in English, no. We say that's the way the ball bounces. Okay, well, we're going to take a look today at show. The verb show, enseñar, demostrar. Pero vamos a mirarlo como verbo compuesto. How do you say presumir?
To show up.
To show up or?
To show off.
Eso es. Because show up es, ¿qué es show up? What time did you show up today?
Aparecer.
Presentarte, aparecer. What time did you show up today?
2:30. I showed up at 2:30.
Si no, no usamos el vocabulario.
I agree.
I'm interested, believe me, at 2:30, but I want to hear the whole sentence.
I showed up at 2:30.
I showed up at 2:30. Ask me what time I showed up.
What time did you show up?
I showed up at the same time as you. We were in the same car together.
Exactly.
We showed up together. Okay, now, presumir?
To show off.
To show off. Now, I just taught you some really native expressions in English. Are you going to show off in front of your friends?
I'm going to show off one of my friends, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I have to write them down.
You have to write them down, apuntarlos. Yeah, it's a good idea. I always tell students, okay, because lo usamos como sustantivo también, to be a show-off. Oh, don't be a show-off. Presumes tanto. Don't be such a show-off. But in English class, it's okay. The whole idea is to show off. Right? I remember I had students say, oh, she's always showing off. I said, well, she's improving more than the rest of you. I go, her showing off is her showing me that she's using the things I'm teaching her. So this is a rule. It's okay to show off in English class. But if you show off in normal life, people don't like it. People who, do you like show-offs?
No, I don't like show-offs.
Okay, show-off es una persona que presume mucho. A show-off, okay? But you do like showing off your English, right?
I love showing off my English, yes, I do.
Great. Now, do you and your wife show off your English to each other sometimes? You're like,
Yes, we do show off our
mira
English.
esta que me enseñó Alberto. Toma. Esa no lo sabías tú. That's showing off, right?
Yes.
To show off. It's okay to, remember, it's a rule, a new rule. It's okay to show off only in English. I show off in Spanish sometimes. I'm like, concienzudamente. People are like, how do you know that? I'm showing off a little bit. Okay, to show off. And now you said show up is presentarse. What about to show around?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I do a show. You know the show English on the Go?
Yes.
It's on this same channel. And I go to a company or a factory or an association or something, and usually someone meets me and then shows me around. What does it mean?
Mostrar, pero...
Dar una vuelta, enseñar. Dar una vuelta enseñando, explicando cosas. Oh, I have a new apartment. Here, I'll show you around. Te enseño, te doy la gira. Vamos a decir, I'll show you around, right? This is a very common. Now, this is the good thing. Show doesn't have a lot of phrasal verbs. To show up, to show off, and to show around. Okay. There aren't very many more. Maybe show down, no. Show over, no. Tienes un par de ellas nada más.
Okay.
Okay, so I want you to show off using this word. Okay?
I will.
All right. Let's see. Do you like showing off at work?
No, I don't like showing off at work.
Okay. What time do you usually show up for work?
I normally show up for work at 8:30.
Okay. All right. Is there anyone who gets there earlier just to show off and say, I've been here since 7?
Yeah, there are two blokes who are normally earlier just to show off.
They show up early in order to show off.
Yeah,
Ahí estás usando las dos en una frase. Dime esa frase.
they show up early just to show off.
Right. And then what happens is No, no, quería incluir el show around, pero ahí no. But then you have to show them around because they don't pay attention. I don't know. No funciona. Okay. Ask me what time I usually show up for work.
What time do you usually show up for work?
I show up for work usually around 10ish. 10ish. Alrededor de las 10. De las 10. Ask me if I show off at work.
Do you show off at work?
No, not really. Everybody speaks English in my work, so I'm not really, hey, look at how good my English is. No. I don't show off at work. But I like to show off my Spanish, okay? What time will you show up here tomorrow?
We'll show up here at 3, I think.
At 3, and who will be your teacher? Do you know?
No. I should know.
You should know. Are you going to show off the things I taught you a few good things there. Are you going to show off tomorrow?
I'm going to show off tomorrow, definitely.
You're going to show off and teach me, hey, how did you know that? It's like,
I know it by heart.
Don't worry. I just have a lot of exposure to the language. I know the language really well. Now, well, it's okay to show off about this. The worst thing is people who show off about money, right? People who are like, look at my car. Look at my, they show up at work in a Ferrari, but they park right in front of the building. That's showing up and showing off at the same time, okay?
Okay.
Now, do you think I've shown you around this verb quite enough?
Yes, you've shown me around this word.
Okay, good. That's the idea. The idea is to associate it, right? So if you show up for work, think of the 2 workmates. They show up in order to show off. Ladies and gentlemen, keep practicing, and we want you to show off too. See you next time. Ciao.
All right. The expression should, the auxiliary verb should, is very important in English, of course. But it's important because it has 3 distinctly different meanings. Let's look at camera 1 and study these meanings, all right, please. Okay, the first meaning is very well. Should, you should always try to be polite to everybody. You should try not to spend more than you earn. The Spanish government spends more than it earns, a lot more. And it should find a way to spend less, or it should find a way to earn more. All right, you should. We should always drive carefully. Debemos conducir con cuidado. We should. Should is un imperativo moral, una especie de recomendación moral. Should. All right, you should go to bed early, and you shouldn't stay up too late. All right. Now, should also is debería, algo que deberías hacer pero no haces. You shouldn't smoke so much. You should be more careful when you drive. You shouldn't drive so fast. You shouldn't drive so carelessly. You should be more careful when you drive. Deberías tener más cuidado, eh? You should. Those 2 are very similar. All right, those 2 ideas. Now, a second use of should is probability. All right, let's see. It's 10 o'clock now. Well, they should be getting near Zaragoza. Son las 10, entonces con toda probabilidad ya están en las afueras o acercándose a Zaragoza. They should be. They should. So, esto no tiene nada que ver con debería. O deberían estar ya en Zaragoza. No, they should be. Seguro, con toda seguridad estarán allá por Zaragoza. They should be around very near Zaragoza. All right, they should. This is probability. Probability. And then finally, there's a one that's like if. If you need any help, call me. Should you need any help, call me. If you want to talk to Maria, then let me know. Should you want to talk to Maria, caso de querer. Curioso, si quieres hablar con María, puedes a través de mí. Yo puedo mediar por ti. Si quieres conocer a María. Yeah, don't worry. Maria's a very interesting person, very special. If you want to meet her, I can help you. I can be your liaison. Now, of course, I'll want something in return. Well, you have to give me something, and I'll put you in contact with Maria. Then it's up to you. Allá tú después. It's up to you after that. Good luck. But I'll put you in contact with her. She's saying, de eso nada. Okay, in Spanish you'd say, si quieres conocerla, te ayuda a que la conozcas. Okay, si quieres. También puedes decir en español, caso de querer, o sea, una forma más sofisticadita. In English, if you want to meet Maria, just ask me. I'll arrange it for you. Should you want to, should you, caso de querer. Es que es un poco más, si se da el caso, es cuando usamos should. De querer, should you want to meet Maria, let me know, and I'll arrange a meeting for you. Unannounced or announced? Do you want me to tell her who you are, or do you want it to be secret, just a surprise meeting? A complete apparent coincidence, okay? On an elevator, you say, I know exactly when Maria uses the elevator in this building. She goes up to the coffee machine on the 5th floor. So she gets into the elevator and goes up, and I know exactly when. All right, so what I'm going to do is, during the break, we take a break between classes, between the beginners and the intermediate. And Maria, the first thing she does is to take off her headphone, and she goes to the elevator and goes up. You could be outside. I'll call you. The moment she walks out the door here, I'll call you. And then you can coincide with her at the door of the elevator. Then it's up to you. All right? I'll arrange it. And should you want to meet Maria, I'll arrange it for you. Now, should you have any questions later, I'll answer you after those. After you meet her on the elevator, while you're on the elevator, you have 5 floors to make an impression on her, okay? That's not a lot of time, but many miracles can happen in only 5 floors of an elevator, all right? So by the time you leave the elevator, it's clear that you need to invite her to the coffee, and you'll pay, okay? And you'll stay at the coffee machine and chat for a while. Now, should you need any information after that about Maria, well, I'll give it to you, but I don't think you'll really need it. But should you need it, caso de necesitarla, o sea, esta información, should you need it, I'll be happy to provide it, okay, should you need it. But I don't really think you'll need it, because if you manage to coincide with her at the beginning where she gets on the elevator, and if you manage to strike up an interesting conversation while she's going up to the coffee machine floor, to the snack floor, then I don't think you'll need any other information about her, because I imagine that she'll be happy to allow you to treat her to a coffee. And she's a nice young lady. She's sociable, and I'm sure she'll smile and chat with you. And I'm sure that probably you will keep her up there longer because she needs to come back down and continue this program. But should you have any problems, caso de tener algún problema tú, should you have any problem, well, I'll help you, don't worry. I'll help you again. And I'll get you back together again a second time. I can arrange it. Yeah, because I know exactly when she leaves. And what I'll do is I will take off from the distributor cap from her car. And so when she starts the car, it won't start. Now, her car, I'll tell you exactly where it's parked, and you park near there. And so when she goes out after the last program, after this program, and she's going home and her car doesn't start, you will conveniently be located nearby. Say, oh, Maria, hi. You have a problem? All right, so I'll arrange a second chance for you. All right, should you need a second chance? All right, should you, yeah, okay. And if that doesn't work, then I don't know what I'll do, okay, with Maria, okay? Well, should that not work, should you need a third chance, okay, I have a special pill that I can put into Maria's water, and it will make her more open to you. Should you need that, should you need a radical approach, should you need that. But if you don't worry about it. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to class number 190, part 3, the last part of class number 190. And we're going to look at an interesting way of using what we call the zero conditional today, an interesting little structure. But first I'd like to introduce my guest, which is Juan. How are you, Juan?
I'm fine. How are you, Kyle?
Excellent, excellent. Glad to be here. And before we do all this, Juan, we have to take a look at our
5 words.
5 words of vocabulary. Absolutely right. Our first word is erizo. Erizo. How do you say that?
Hedgehog.
That's a good word, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a good word. Erizo. Hedgehog. Have you ever seen a hedgehog?
Yeah, I've seen some hedgehogs so far.
All right. Hedgehog. Hedgehog. What's a hog?
I don't know what's a hog.
A hog is it's like a type of pig, like a big fat pig. A hog. So a hedgehog, I suppose, maybe inspired by that type of animal. Marcar de nuevo.
To redial.
To redial. So imagine I dial once, it didn't work. So you have to
You have to redial.
redial. So we're adding which essentially means do it again.
Exactly.
Redial. If it doesn't work the first time, redial. Redial. Okay? So with these words, make sure you're always pronouncing out loud at home, right? Redial. And the third word is mecha, but de una vela, right?
Week.
Wick. Sorry?
Wick.
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 Wick. Yes, a wick. Inside a candle, you have a wick. And what's around the outside of the wick?
The wax.
The wax. I think we saw this about 15 classes ago. The word wax. Wax. Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So which part burns, the wax or the wick?
The wick.
The wick. And what feeds the wick? The wax? Does the wax feed the wick, or does the wick feed the wax? You know what I mean?
No.
Does the wick feed, like provide fuel? Does the wick feed the wax, or does the wax feed the wick?
I think it's the wax feeding the wick.
Yeah, the wax feeds the wick. So the wick is absorbing the petroleum-based fuel, right, into the wick. And that fuel is burning within the wick. Because if the wick just burned by itself, it would go away very quickly.
Yeah.
And we can actually use this as a verb, to wick up, because the wick absorbs, right? It absorbs the fuel from the wax. So we could say to wick up, like a cloth sort of wicks up moisture. It picks it up, right?
Okay.
Anyhow, rodapié.
I don't know. I forgot.
We say skirting board. Skirting board. Yeah, along the wall, right? Skirting board.
Skirting board.
Skirting board. Have you ever installed skirting board?
No, I've never installed a skirting board in my life.
But carpenters have to install it, right?
Yes, they do have to install a skirting board.
Skirting board. Yeah, you messed up with the skirting board, right? The foreman would come in and say, right? The boss.
Yeah.
Okay. Patas de una mesa.
Table legs.
Yeah, very logical, right? Table legs. Do you have a table in your kitchen?
Yes, I do have a table in my kitchen.
How many table legs does it have?
They have 4 table legs.
Well, it
has 4 table legs.
All right. Okay, the table has 4 legs. It has 4 table legs. Does it wobble? To wobble, to be cojo, you know?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't wobble.
Wobble. Wobble.
It doesn't wobble.
Okay.
How do you spell it?
W-O-B-B-L-E. Wobble. I hate it when I go to a restaurant and the table wobbles. Don't you hate that?
Yeah, I hate when table wobbles, yes.
I hate that. Wobbly tables. Drives me crazy. All right, well, anyway, Juan, it's time to move on to talk about a conditional structure. I'm going to say, for example, if he calls, tell him I'm not here. And then I want you to say, should he call, tell him I'm not here. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, so, if he needs anything, offer him whatever you have.
Should he call?
Now, should he need anything?
Should he need anything? I don't know, offer him
Offer him
whatever he needs.
whatever you have.
Okay.
Right? Because I said, no, I said, if he needs anything, offer him whatever you have.
So should he need anything, offer him whatever you have.
Offer him whatever you have. Sure, sure, sure. If it's hot, this is good advice in the summer in Spain. If it's hot, drink lots of water.
Should it be hot, drink lots of water.
Should it be hot, drink lots of water. Yeah. What did you just say?
I said, should it be hot, drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water. Drink lots of water. If I'm out, leave a message with reception.
Should I be out, leave a message with reception.
Yeah. So this is a conditional that it's always true. Whenever I'm out, should I be out, leave a message with reception. Right?
Yes.
Okay. If you have problems, this is good advice. If you have problems, study more on the weekend. And you can say, should you have problems, study more on the weekend. Should you have problems, study more on the weekend. Right? Good advice, right?
Yeah, very good one.
If you mix red and blue, what do you get? What do you get?
Purple.
Purple. Okay, so if you mix red and blue, you get purple. So you can say,
Should you mix red and blue, you get purple.
yeah, right, yeah. It's like, en el caso de que, right? How would you say that in Spanish? En el caso de que?
En el caso de que mezcles rojo y azul, tendrás púrpura.
Yeah. Should you mix red and blue, you'll get purple, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, if the children are hungry, make them some dinner at home. You can say, should the children be hungry, make them some dinner, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If the tank is empty, fill it up.
Should the tank be empty, fill it up.
Very good, very good. If the computer crashes, restart it immediately.
Should the computer crash, reinstall it immediately.
Or restart it.
Should the computer crash, restart it immediately.
Right. Now, can you say that in Spanish?
Si el ordenador falla, reinícialo inmediatamente.
Exactly, yeah. If the battery goes dead, recharge it.
Should the battery go dead, recharge it.
Very good. Okay, another one for our friends at home. If plants don't get enough water, this is a fact. If plants don't get enough water, they die. Should plants not get enough water, they die. Right? If the customer complains, give them what they want.
Should the customer complain, give them what they want.
Absolutely. Good advice, I think, right?
Yeah, very good one.
Great job today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you very much to you at home. Excellent job. We'll be back to see you very soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, we're entering the home stretch, el tramo final. All right, the home stretch. And we only have 5 classes left, 1 week. Can you believe it? Can you believe that we are finally coming to an end? Everything is coming to an end. All good things must come to an end. It's true. And everybody likes a happy ending. And I'm happy to tell you that, in my opinion, this course is going to have a happy ending. You will end up with English much better than when you started. If you have watched these programs on a daily basis, including perhaps the intermediate and beginners program, then I'm sure your English is a lot fresher, your ear is a lot better, and you feel better about the language. I'm sure of it.